Hello viewers and welcome back to SaharaTV. This is the callback segment where we like to hear from you, the viewers. My name is Faloye, and of course to do justice to that is the one and only Adeola, Fayehun of Keeping It Real. Adeola, welcome to...
What's up, humble prince?
I forgot today's not Wednesday. I was looking for applause. Yeah, thank you. Adeola, so we have, I believe, 2 questions of the day. And,
yeah.
Adeola, yeah, go ahead.
Actually, we have about 3. Let's see how far we can get, and I hope they will put up the time for us so that we can stick to time.
Yep, that's oh, sorry. Real quick, viewers. So the number to call is yes.
Yeah.
Let's get that on the screen. The number to call is 917.
Please put up the number. Who do you talk to? Is it Mike or Ike?
Mike.
Put up the number.
Yes, 917-284-9811. That's 917-284-9811. And yep, it's right there on the screen. These guys are effective today. So
great.
Yeah, Adeola, so what are the questions we have?
All right. So the very first one, by now everybody has heard about Radio Biafra.
Yep.
You must have heard about Radio Biafra. And the question is, does it pose a threat to the Nigerian Federation? What do you think? That's
an interesting question. Well, it depends on, I will say, what perspective, because let's first of all say that I think Radio Biafra is, I think, agitating for a division in Nigeria, which some people think should happen, as long as it doesn't happen between violently, you know, to each his own.
So you don't care what a Nigerian, to be honest with
you, know, yeah. Okay. So, and then, you know, Radio Biafra, there's some concerns that have come up that, like they said, they're trying to promote violence. But, you know, I think they're entitled to freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Yeah. Okay. So, what are your thoughts?
So here's the thing. I appreciate freedom of expression.
Yep.
Freedom of press. I think people should be able to express themselves.
I say so, please.
At the same time, I don't think that we should celebrate if someone is advocating for violence. I don't think we should use our freedom of expression to advocate
of course, because we saw what happened during the war itself. I mean, we're talking about millions of lives lost. So, you know, we don't want to see a repetition of that. But, you know, it's part of what I like to say, a history of our country. And isn't it unfortunate that, you know, if you didn't maybe watch a movie or talk to somebody one-on-one, they didn't teach us that in, when I was in Odogwu, that wasn't part of the curriculum.
When you were where?
Federal Government College Odogwu, one of the finest high school institutions in Nigeria.
Friends.
Yeah.
Where is that?
In Ogun State.
In Ogun State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I feel like you said, Nigeria needs to address what led to Radio Biafra. I feel like that's not, if you are trying to cut off the leaves, but you have a root to deal with. If you're not dealing with the root, you can't really just cut off the leaves and think that you are fixing anything, because I don't think that you are. Right. So I think the Nigerian government needs to address, I absolutely feel like they need to address the whole issue of Biafra, why people wanted to secede, and the fact that 1 million people died. We need to address that. I don't like the fact that it's not in our textbooks, in schools. It's part of our history, whether we like it or not. We need to talk about it. And people need to be, I don't want to use the word compensated, but...
reparations, you think?
Yeah, at least, if this should have happened elsewhere, there would be a museum.
I agree with that.
With detail about this is what happened. We have the Holocaust Museum here, and it didn't even happen here. You know, things like that. We need to have a museum for what happened during Biafra. We need to have some kind of monument so that this doesn't happen again. I don't believe that it's right to kill 1 million Nigerians. And
the way they died too, some of them died
they were starved to death.
They
were starved to death. You starved fellow Nigerians to death. I don't think that's right. Now, that doesn't give an excuse for somebody to promote hate. Radio Biafra was saying that people should attack Deeper Life Church just because it's owned by a Yoruba person. So I don't agree with that.
Absolutely not.
So at the same time, I feel like this whole Biafra thing needs to be addressed. And if people want to secede, let them secede. I don't see a big deal in it. I don't think you need to kill people just because they wanted to separate themselves.
Yeah, like Rudolph is saying that, you know, Scotland is looking for division as well as Quebec as well. So, you know, and they're doing it peacefully. You know, they're doing it with their brains and not their hands and, you know, not with violence. But another thing I just wanted to say, though, I like that point that, you know, we should have a museum because even though it might be seen as a dark history of our country, but you know, it's still a history. Look at what happened in South Carolina with the Confederate flag. They didn't say just throw it in the garbage somewhere.
They said to
put it in the museum so we could, you know, always go back to reflect. That's good.
And I'm hoping that somebody will call in. So we hear from people. The number is 917-284-9811.
Yes, we do this for you guys because we like to hear what you guys have to say. We're giving you guys the chance to say your piece. And so the first comment that I want to read today is by Antonio Tipa, and he said that the Igbo people were greatly wronged, which led to the Biafran War, which was inevitable for a period to defend themselves because they did not feel or were treated as a part of the Nigerian nation, and rightly so. So I agree with him that Igbo people were greatly wronged, and until now I feel like it's still not discussed. Right. So we can, and we have a caller, we can't just be treating the symptoms if we don't treat the root cause. So we have a caller. Caller, you're live. Welcome to SaharaTV.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, my name is Lai.
Hi.
I'm calling from California.
Hey.
Yeah, I just want to commend you people for doing this great job that you've been doing for a very long time.
Thank you.
And I pray that God continue to strengthen you and give you more wisdoms in moving us forward. One thing about the Radio Biafra is that if SaharaTV could have come this far in helping Nigeria actualizing the dream of the change, then maybe Radio Biafra would have done more harm if given the chance. So I don't think the same treatment, like what Adeola said earlier about the situation of freedom of speech. Yeah. I don't think Radio Biafra is an example of a kind of entity to be given this kind of freedom. They would do more harm than good comparing to what you people are doing. That's just my view about that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. I feel like he misunderstood me, though. Like, right after I said that we need to have freedom of expression. Right. Whatever happens, we must have freedom of expression. Absolutely. But then I said that we shouldn't allow the freedom of expression to propagate violence. Yeah,
we're not trying to, I don't think they should advocate violence in no way, shape, or form.
Right. Correct. There, like, I spoke as a journalist. I'm a journalist, and I feel like there has to be freedom of expression. But at the same time, if somebody is instigating violence, then that is crossing the line. Yeah, there's a way you can, right. Be careful that you don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Right. So I feel like people should have the right to have like freedom of expression, but I don't think that we should celebrate using that freedom of expression to propagate violence. I completely agree. We don't want to. They shouldn't advocate violence, but they have the right to say their piece if they feel that injustice was done. They could talk about it, and then, like you said, the Nigerian government, in some way, shape, or fashion, needs to address this. Yeah, and exactly my point is you need to look beyond just Radio Biafra. There's something that led to Radio Biafra. And if you don't address that, if you shut them down, they will open another one. They're thinking internet now is... Yeah, it's internet radio. Because so the reports that were out there saying that they were shut down, I don't think that's correct. First of all... if you don't address what is... leading to Radio Biafra, they will still open other radio stations. Yeah, here's the thing. They said they plan to open for 50 more stations. Yeah, so this thing is becoming contagious. To address what happened at that time. Right. The government needs to take responsibility for what happened. No matter how. I don't care what they wanted to do, even if they wanted to separate themselves from Nigeria. It's still not a license to kill 1 million people. There were so many young people that knew nothing about, oh, we want Biafra. They just happened to be Igbo. Maybe their parents or their elderly ones wanted Biafra. And so many young people were caught up in this. Exactly. People lost loved ones. Exactly. So, and I want to say that, you know, probably a lot of people that are advocating for Biafra, talking about it, weren't even alive when the war took place. But this thing is going on from generation to generation. So what happened to my grandma? Oh, we lost her during those. We have another caller. Caller, you're alive. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, from Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh, how are you, Adeola? Good. And the other guy there from...
Humble Prince.
You can call me Handsome Prince. That's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Humble Prince, hi.
Humble, yeah, Prince.
Yeah.
And my contribution to the program is that I just want people, especially the Igbo people, to be very careful with this their Biafra thing. Because what they should just do is look around the world and what is happening around the world, even in Africa, Syria, Iraq, Libya, and everywhere. I think the strength of the nation, I mean, being together is a great strength for Nigerians than being in pieces. So, I mean, they should just look around the world, what is happening around the world. Because, I mean, saying that you want to go on your own is very easy. How can you maintain, when you break away, how can you maintain that? I mean, how can you maintain it? Look at South Sudan. They've broken away from Sudan now, and look at what is happening there.
Right.
So they should just be very, very careful and think properly. All these people running Radio Biafra and all these things, I believe that there are people in the Western world and U.S., they're in comfort of their houses, comfort of the luxury, I mean, in the Western world and America. But I don't think ordinary Igbo people in Nigeria, I don't really think, I mean, they are the one promoting all these Biafran cross or something like that.
Yeah.
Thank you
very much.
As for me,
he does have a point, because I think British, the radio is actually running in Britain.
Yeah, I totally appreciate what he said.
Yeah.
Like, so for example, they were telling people, I think in Rivers State, and I may be wrong, I'm not sure if it's Rivers, but they were telling people they should go and attack Deeper Life Church there. And the funny thing is the people that are instigating the violence are actually not there to carry out the violence.
Right.
And they are telling you to go and attack a church. If you get arrested, then who's going to be put in prison?
And you know what? We can liken this to what Boko Haram is doing, because Boko Haram is attacking churches, and that could be, to me, a terrorist act.
Well, yeah, but they said that is because it's owned by a Yoruba person, something like that. Anyway, let me read more comment. This is from Chukwu, the owner, and we have another caller. So let's take that call briefly. Caller, you're live. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I think people are making a grave mistake about Nigeria.
Okay.
And the mistake is in the sense that you are addressing Radio Biafra. Radio Biafra is just one of the discontents within the Nigerian Federation. These discontents are expressed in different regions of Nigeria in different ways, like Boko Haram in the north, Bakassi Boys in the east, OPC in the west, maybe MEND in the south. These discontents arise as a result of the foundation of Nigeria itself, because the foundation is shaky. Nigeria, you see, when we don't have a Nigeria, we have Nigerians without Nigerians.
Good point.
There is Nigeria, but there are no Nigerians. People still stick back to their ethnic identity. The identity question still come into play in Nigeria.
Yep.
Because Nigeria is not a creation of Nigerians; it's a creation of Britain.
Yep. A business deal.
People go back to their identity, the identity question. If Nigeria was not a creation of Nigerians, it was a creation of Britain. But since British left, Nigerians themselves have not sat down to sit down. Do we want a Nigeria? If we want Nigeria, what do we want?
Do we want to get along? Thank you.
Thank you so much
completely appreciate what he said. Like, do we want to get along,
and
you know?
And to what you said, you know, to buttress what you said, he said the root is shaky, the foundation is shaky. So, you know, the leaves are always going to be
a lot of
shaky
people that are furious right now, a lot of people that are passing hate messages through Biafra radio, and just a lot of people that consider themselves as Biafrans. I feel like when I look at some of them that are young people, I feel like all it needs or all it will take to quell this is just for the government to say, you know what?
We're sorry.
We're sorry about what happened. No matter what you guys wanted, there's no need to kill 1 million people. Like, I just feel like that could at least open the door for dialogue. We need to have a dialogue about this. We need to discuss this so that we can get to the healing phase about what happened. And we have another caller. I love the fact that people are calling in.
Of course,
caller, you're live. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Hi,
yes,
from Toronto. That's one of my best cities in the world. Go ahead.
Yes, how you doing?
Hi.
Good.
Good. I just have a brief statement to make.
Okay.
I don't want the issue being exaggerated about Radio Biafra or Biafra itself. The 1 million people killed, people were killed on both sides, either Biafra or Nigeria. All right, now, the thing about the radio promoting violence, that kind of thing, is not good at all. We don't need that right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that violence begets violence. This is how it all began in 1966. So people died on both sides. They can have a referendum. They can go to UN. Yes, they have the right to express themselves, but this propaganda will not work. That's how the war was prolonged for too long in 1966.
Right. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you very much.
He has a point. You know,
I agree, people die on both sides, but
right.
not as much as the Igbo
right. And we said that previous to before the show that, I said other people died,
Yeah,
but
people
and you
died
brought up
on
a good
both
point.
sides.
Right, but it was a significant, overwhelming amount for the Igbos. Yeah, the difference is clear, definitely.
And the other side was not starved to death.
Yeah, that's a bad way to die, isn't it?
I mean, I see pictures of like little kids looking like bones, and they had nothing to do with what was happening.
Yeah,
so I'm not
totally
saying
unfair.
that one side needs to be blamed, but I'm saying we need to have a dialogue. We need to discuss this.
But why? So a good question to ask is like, why haven't we had some kind of dialogue up until now?
And I feel like the fact that there's some kind of effort to make sure that this is not out there, I don't appreciate that.
They're trying to suppress it, you think?
Kind of, because they didn't teach us about Biafra when I was in school.
No, if you didn't read,
I went to school in Nigeria.
Same here.
And
if you didn't read, we have another caller.
Yeah, I feel like if you didn't read like Half of the Yellow Sun or watch the movie or Things Fall Up, like you probably wouldn't know unless somebody else talked to you about it.
Yeah.
So we have another caller.
Caller,
you're
thank
live.
you.
Please go ahead. Hi, KELECHI from New York. Please go ahead.
Hello, Adeola, how are you?
Good, and you?
Hi.
I'm doing very good. How's everything going?
Great.
Okay, I just want to make a quick comment. I listened to the last caller that said we don't have Nigerians, but we have Nigeria. The honest truth is that we have Nigerians and we have Nigeria. The problem is people are finding it very difficult to let go of the past. It's a very horrible past. A very, very horrible past. But we cannot continue dwelling on that past to actually inform what we are going to do for our future. The world is changing on a very fast pace. And I have never seen a place where violence leads to success or development or tranquility. It doesn't happen that way. My advice to Nigerians and to the Easterners and to the Westerners and to the Northerners is this. We can have that consensus that the war from the outset was just not necessary. If you read about that war, I call it the Generals' War. It was an unnecessary war. I know very well that if the people that started the war, if they could go back and think twice, probably wisdom would have prevailed. They would have resorted to more diplomatic way of understanding their difference. Ojukwu loved Nigeria. That's why he contested to be a president of Nigeria. Ojukwu contested to be a senator in Nigeria. So the problem is people keep throwing this sentiment out there, and a large number of the teeming youths are buying into this hatred. And it's not right. It is not good for our unity. It is not good for our republic.
Right.
But if the war was fought, no matter what the circumstances are today, we should decide as a nation to have a new way of thinking, a new way of living. Just a couple of months ago or weeks ago, they brought down the Confederate flag in South Carolina. Over a civil war that was fought like almost how many years ago? This is the United States. So people are finding ways to mend fences and move forward. sometimes it's difficult, but we cannot continue dwelling on 1 million people were killed, 20 million people were killed. Nobody is telling us the entire story about what actually happened during this war for some of us that were not born then.
Right.
So, and I believe that these generals just went into war because they were just politically conscious. What will I get?
Power hungry.
What will I get?
Yeah, Kelechi, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well,
I appreciate
to the point where the other caller said we're all Nigerians, but we don't.
Yeah, there's Nigeria, but there are no Nigerians.
Everybody's sticking to their culture and where they're from. So
yeah, that is true.
Exactly.
If you're American, you just say I'm proud
American,
to be
period.
American. But in Nigeria, first of all, we say are you Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba.
And everything,
in fact, other ethnic groups are upset that you don't always include them, like Orobo.
Exactly.
You know,
and then back, there was a time you couldn't even, if you were Igbo, you couldn't marry Yoruba and vice versa. And unfortunately, that still prevails to today.
If you're Yoruba or let's say you're Igbo, you hardly see Igbo that will marry Hausa. I don't know why. I know people are doing it, but even to know that people who have their reservations, they will say, okay. So let me read one more. I mean, I have much more, not one, so I need to read more. And the next one is from Chukwu, the owner, and he said Biafra is a done deal. No matter what the illiterate president do, his actions will fasten the freedom of Biafra. Biafra is our future. Now, I read this because this guy represents a large group of young people who call themselves Biafrans. And you can see his thinking in what he wrote. To him, a lot of people call President Buhari a terrorist, by the way. A lot of Biafrans refer to him as a terrorist. You can see there's some kind of bitterness that needs to be addressed, and that's my point. Like, this person may not be alive during Biafra, by the way.
He probably wasn't.
But he sees Buhari or any Hausa person as a terrorist. We need to discuss this. So we have another caller. Caller, you're live. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Ojo. I'm calling in from London.
Hi.
Hi. Very interesting topic you guys are discussing, and I just want to contribute my little quarter.
Please go ahead.
Okay. One of your callers mentioned the foundation of Nigeria being weak, and I think that's a very important point to look at. But I want to look at it from just a slightly different perspective.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Which is the fiscal federalism, or or we can say the financial aspect of Nigeria. I just want to give you data from September 2014 in regards to the monthly allocation of states. And I'll pick a high state and I'll pick a low state. Now, Akwa Ibom in September 2014 shared just under 20 billion naira. That's just 1 month. Now, Gombe State had 3 billion in the same month. So one state, Akwa Ibom, had 20 billion. Another state had 3 billion. Now, if you multiply that over the year, you'll see that Akwa Ibom is getting in excess of 200 billion, while Gombe State is getting just over 30 billion. Now, that, if you look at the developmental aspect of, or the implication in terms of development, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of education, the way we're actually bringing up people in the country from the way we're sharing the money has an impact. So the kind of education the person in Akwa Ibom is receiving is not the kind of education the person in Gombe State is receiving. So there's that disadvantage. So when these guys grow up, while the person in Akwa Ibom may be looking to become a doctor, looking to become a lawyer, the person in Gombe State may just be a carpenter or a welder. Now, when you look at the exposure that these fanatics now bring into the equation, when you look at be it Biafra, be it Boko Haram, we had Metasine in the past, there is the financial aspects that can be attributed to this disparity. So what is the way forward? It's not just the money. It's not just going to be the money, but we actually have to sit down. Like another caller said, what do we want to be regions? Do we want to have a Nigeria? But because the elites are afraid of the outcome of that discussion. They don't want to allow that discussion to take place.
Yeah. Ojo,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for pointing. That's a huge disparity, and I think money does play a does play a role.
Right.
So yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. I wanted to say that you wanted to read some more Facebook messages.
I want to read one that I found really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get to other questions of the day, but this one from Odukwe Undubisi Jerry. First of all, he said, vengeance is the Lord's.
Says the Bible.
Right? And then he said, they killed 3 million Igbos. First of all, it was 1 million, my brother.
To be honest, I think the 1 million is somewhat, I don't want to say hugely exaggerated.
Humble Prince, for your own sake,
I know.
don't say
okay,
that.
Yes.
For your own, let me save you now before they come after you.
I know, let's go.
Don't say that.
Don't tweet that, people.
So from what I have read, I wasn't alive at the time, but from what I have read, it was 1 million, my brother. So it's clear that this person either wasn't alive at that time or whatever.
It wasn't 3 million.
So he said vengeance is the Lord's, that they killed 3 million Igbo. And then he said that the Almighty God is taking vengeance for us now through Boko Haram, killing them every day. So he's saying that now God is giving them vengeance, now that they are killing Northerners, reducing their population. They must kill 3 million Northerners before they stop. Nemesis. What do you think about that?
I think that's a very ignorant statement.
This is not the first time that I will hear people say when Boko Haram was, whenever Boko Haram killed people in the north, I've had a lot of people say, let them kill themselves. That's the same way they killed us during Biafra. So I want us to talk about that, but we have another caller, which is great. Caller,
go ahead.
You're live. Please go ahead. Hi.
Mohammed.
This is Mohammed.
From Houston.
Mohammed Shidabe. I'm from Houston.
Hi.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, I went to high school with the prince there. He went to UGOCHUKWU, so I think it was.
I could tell. You sound very educated. I could tell.
What do you mean by that? He's a clown. I've been privy actually to see his shows over the past months and prior to the election and whatnot.
Nice.
A couple of things you guys have discussed. His point, in actuality, I've actually differed from my own point of view. I think we in order for us to actually see where we are and look at where we're going, we need to actually understand the past. Okay, we need a lot of tolerance. We need Nigeria belongs to all of us. We're all stakeholders.
Yeah. Okay,
but we need to be able to come to the table and put forth a basis to also continue. There's one thing, though. I'll tell you one thing. The founding fathers fought. They fought hard to keep Nigeria one, and Nigeria will remain one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It will. No, I'm very passionate about this. I don't care what they say about Boko Haram, whatever. During when the whole stakes were really high last year, when people were advocating that they wanted to split, I said it. I said it, and I said the people that, worst case scenario, the people that fought the civil war will come together and fight again. We're not scared.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mohammed.
Like him, I also want Nigeria to work. I want one Nigeria. I want to learn more about Igbo culture and Hausa culture. Like I like eating fura in the morning and ogbono soup in the afternoon before my akara at night. So, but I know that they gave us this time, but there is an issue begging to be discussed.
So,
Humble Prince, would you agree with me?
We have to discuss.
There is an issue that is begging to be discussed. So we must take from Dr. Dameji's time, Skype time.
Yeah. So guys, I know this is very important because Buhari is definitely visiting the United States, and I just want to say I think that came about because I know Obama is visiting Africa, and Nigeria is one of the countries.
He's not visiting Nigeria.
He's not visiting Nigeria. So I think he said, you know what? Please, if I can't visit you, can you come visit me? And so what are some? So I know we spoke about. We'll just get to some of the Facebook messages, and if you want to call real quick, please do call 917-284-9811. Adeola, can you read the second question of the day, please?
Yeah. What result would you like to see from Buhari's visit to the United States this coming week? First of all, Humble Prince, what do you want to see?
Definitely, the first major concern is definitely security and how we could fight terrorism and completely wipe out and eradicate Boko Haram. But one question has been coming up to say, and one of the things has been discussing is that, you know, will they talk about the gay laws? Now, let me just say something there's something called the Leahy law.
Okay.
Right?
The what?
Leahy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Leahy law concerns, prohibits the United States from supporting or providing military assistance for countries that violate human rights. So that's where so that's what people don't understand, because America feels that the gay laws in Nigeria is a violation of human rights. So,
so are you saying that America will not support us? We have a caller and we'll take it right away. But are you saying that America may not support Nigeria if Nigeria doesn't buy into gay laws?
There's a possibility.
All right, let's take this call. Caller, your live, please go ahead.
Yes, my name is UGOCHUKWU. I'm calling from Dallas.
Hi.
Yes, I've been listening to a lot of people coming here to talk about being one Nigeria and being in unity, because there is a problem that has come out from the Igbo region of Nigeria. But for a long time now, this thing has been going on and nobody wants to talk about it. Last time, the Oba of Lagos said he was going to drown the Igbos in the lagoon. And sometime 2 months ago, a doctor in Dallas said that the Igbos should be killed. Nobody said anything about it.
Oh, no, he was reprimanded.
People said something.
Yeah, people shut down his Facebook page.
Even with the Oba, people said something.
Yes.
Excuse me, there was a demonstration here, and the Yorubas, you know, showed their angers on the Igbos, and they say they are ready for them.
I would be careful not to say the Yorubas, because you just generalized. I
watched it. The man is a Yoruba man. He said Yorubas. He mentioned Yorubas. He's on YouTube. You can go there and watch it yourself.
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is this. In Nigeria, the Igbos are targeted whenever there is violence. In the north, they are targeted where there is violence. And they even tell them to go back to their own nation. They were repatriated in a country where they say where they say they belong. The fact is this: if we can tell ourselves the truth, the Nigerians, the Hausa, and the Igbos have hatred on the Igbos, and it's hard time we discuss about it.
Did you mean the Hausa and Yoruba?
The Yorubas and Hausas, they don't like the Igbos,
so
and we know that.
Genuinely
and we've been trying to work for you. Let me ask you one question. How many Igbos, how many Yorubas, or how many Northerners have an investment in the Igbo land? Is an only Igbo man that has a very liberal mind to go in any part of the Nigeria to invest. Whereas these other people don't have Nigeria as, they know we are not one. That's why they don't invest here. And when they go there to do the business, none of them can buy a plot of land and build a house because they know we are not one.
Hold on. Right now, you're speaking with anger, and I want you to be aware of that.
I'm angry. I'm an Igbo man.
I could tell that you are, and this is an example of what I'm saying, that we need to have a dialogue. So I feel like we shouldn't be the target of your anger, though, while you're expressing your opinion.
Yeah, but so what he said though, saying that
he has a lot of points.
I know, but he's saying, okay, can I go to Anambra State and become the governor there?
I know he has legitimate points,
yeah, so
but I'm saying that we are not the one that you are upset with. So you can still give your points without.
I'm not upset with you. Okay. What you're doing is good in order to educate our leaders.
Absolutely.
Our leader, that name Nigeria is built a very wrong foundation. The Northerners think they are the royal, people in Nigeria, that they are born to rule. And if you listen to what they've been saying, they think every other person in Nigeria don't have a say in Nigeria. Okay, look at the entourage Buhari is bringing to United States. 32 people, including his son. No Igbo man is there. Is that right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I have to look at that
I would listen to him all day, except that they already told us that our time was off. We are begging for more time so we can talk about Buhari's visit to the U.S. as well. But like this man that I just called in, there are so many people that have stuff inside that needs to come out. We need to have a dialogue. We need to discuss. The way he's talking about what's paining a lot of Igbo people, we may get a call now from a Hausa person that he will also be talking about how he feels like Hausa people are cheated. Like someone that called us earlier was talking about allocations, how Hausa people were getting about 30 billion and Igbo people were getting about 200 billion. So everybody have their own sentiment. Everybody have their own
everybody's still harboring a lot of anger and bitterness, and I can understand that. But we have to understand this, though. So for people calling for Nigeria to divide, there's one thing that happens, because most of the people that want the country to survive probably live in one place and have resources in another country, in another state. So how are we going to divvy that up?
I feel like we need each other, though. So
we do.
We should talk about how we can have
you know
unity.
what? Everybody's been talking about this division for a long time. So let's see it happen.
We didn't really. It's not really been addressed. But today we have the luxury of taking some of Dr. Damage's time. Yes,
I have nothing to do with that.
Some of the Skype time. So let me read. People are talking about what they are expecting of Buhari's visit to Washington, as well as the rumor that has been circulating that the U.S. may try to convince Nigeria to repeal the 14-year jail term for gay people. So some of these answers deal with the gay issue, some deal with...
So, let me just make this point again. It's not that, I know the Nigerians, the way they're looking at it, again, it falls back to that Leahy law where they see the gay laws as a violation of human rights, and that's it.
Okay.
Right.
So the first comment by Timothy Unwobi-Bish said, we're not agreeing to legitimize gay marriage. That is what they want Buhari to
and
talk
here's another
about
thing. We're not talking about gay marriage. There are people here in the United States that really don't agree with gay marriage. I'm one of them because it doesn't align with my beliefs as a Christian. Right. But, and let me just say that my First Amendment rights allows me to advocate my religious beliefs, so I'm not discriminating against anybody. But people living that lifestyle, you know, I don't think they should be jailed for it, and that's my personal opinion. So go to the next one.
And the next comment by Ambrose says, our problems are security, not satanism. Buhari is not foolish.
When did that come into play? Satanism?
I don't know. I wish he would talk about the fact that right now what we need is security. Like there are so many
security.
Issues,
we definitely need, security.
I just want the girls to come home, the Chibok girls to come home first and foremost, and then we can talk about other things.
I hope so too. Yeah.
The next comment by Abdullahi Buba says that we are not in support of gay marriage. It will not happen in our country, inshallah. Inshallah.
Even though it happens in South Africa, though.
And the next comment by Okanlamo Olatunji says, for God's sake, we are of different background. Nothing about gay will ever work here in Nigeria. People deserve the type of society that they choose for themselves. Nigerians choose to be anti-gay society, so
no,
let it
it doesn't mean that the homosexual lifestyle doesn't take place, though.
In Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay. Of course, they're everywhere.
Exactly.
Okanlamo Olatunji says, helping in bringing back the stolen money. Now we are talking. Now we are talking. Somebody gets it. Go ahead.
So America's going to send the FBI to come investigate it.
You know, whenever money is stolen in Nigeria, America will know. Don't forget that. Mr. Jonathan made us understand that.
Yeah.
Buying of our crude oil, giving a technical advice on insurgency, supporting the war financially and morally, and joining Mobil Oil to build refineries in the country to create jobs, etc. That's what we should be discussing. And that would be the last comment I would read. I really appreciate this.
Definitely, exactly. And it goes back to the law of the land that says America cannot really support countries that violate human rights. And so we'll see how that works out.
And you're going to be in D.C., right, to meet with Mr. President? I'm very excited for you.
Are you
bring back pictures? Me? Oh, please. You know how it is.
Of course.
Yeah,
that event won't be taking place.
Here?
Yeah, that event won't be in the event.
All right. Thank you, everybody that called in. That was a very interactive
Definitely.
session.
It was a very passionate topic. So, again, join us this Wednesday for another callback segment on Live with the Humble Prince on Sahara FM Radio.
And thanks to Mr. Rudolph Okonkwo for giving us some of your time on
that was all
Skype segment.
Okay.
All right. Same time next week as well as Wednesday. We'll join you.
So don't go anywhere. We have a lot of shows coming up.
Call in and be on Dr. Damage's with the Skype call.
The Skype call, yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Good stuff.